Welcome to Chris Works Out. This is my cryptic crossword video tutorial. Nothing to do with me down the gym or anything, that'd be really weird. What I'm going to do is go through episode by episode the process of solving cryptic crosswords. We'll start off with some really simple stuff, build up to the more complicated things. This is going to be a very basic first introduction. There'll be themed episodes later on as well, where I'll talk about topics that tend to come up a lot, get referenced in clues and answers in some way. And there's a discussion board on site for any clues that you've found, and I'll post some test ones there as well, and tip sheets for particular topics, themes, clue types, stuff like that. And there's all the usual social media ways to get involved as well. I figured I'd start right from the start with a very simple, what are they? What are cryptic crossword clues? You ever get that feeling when you open the paper and you look at the crossword and go, no, it doesn't mean anything to me at all, and it's just complete nonsense. Now, the thing is, they aren't quiz questions, and they aren't like a normal crossword. They are somewhere between a riddle and algebra. That's probably the best way of describing it, and I know that might make a lot of people turn right off, but it's true, and I love them. So, there's a system for breaking them down. There's a way that they're written, and there's a way that you can solve them, and it takes a bit of learning, but we'll start right from the basics. So there are many types of clue, but in general, the overarching structure is that they break down into two parts. And those two parts are the definition and the wordplay. Now, the definition is what the clue actually means. It's the word or synonym for the word that you're going to write into the grid. So one word or one part of the clue will actually just mean what you write in. The wordplay is everything else. It's all the stuff that tells you how to get the definition. Doesn't mean a lot right now, but quick example. Now that says, I know my handwriting's probably hard to read, that says mythology from Gabon or Senegal. 5 letters, mythology from Gabon or Senegal. So, your first step is to think about your definition. What is it going to mean? What is the word that you're looking for to put into the crossword grid? Because the one thing you know for certain from this clue is that it is not a name of an African mythology. Because you know it's cryptic, so it can't be that simple. Now, how to find your definition is step 1. You can't really work these out unless you know what you're looking for. So, definition. Most important thing to remember, it is always going to be in contact with one end or the other. It won't necessarily be a single word at one end or the other. It will always be in contact with one another. It will never be on its own in the middle. So you can be absolutely sure looking at this clue that it is not going to be another word for Gabon, because that is the only thing that's completely isolated in the centre. The definition always in contact with one end or the other. One end or the other. So, there is a general syntax for crossword clues. There is a structure and a flow to them. So, in this instance, you can be fairly sure, because of this word from, that the mythology is derived from Gabon or Senegal. Not comes from there, but is derived from there. So there's a natural flow that you can read and to say, the mythology, the word I'm looking for, comes from somehow the rest of this. So you know that that is probably your definition. You're probably looking for a word for mythology 5 letters long, and the rest of it is going to be the contribution. Now, the word from is, this is a very convenient example. It could be is, sometimes you'll see apostrophe s used as well. Some don't have such a clear indicator of where the definition and the wordplay split up, but this one, use it as an example because it does. So then you know that this word mythology needs to come from the rest of the clue, Gabon or Senegal. Now, the one thing I can tell you, once you've got what your definition is, or you have a good idea what your definition is and you want to test it, completely ignore any other references. Gabon or Senegal in this instance were probably used deliberately to mislead you because they're African, so instantly you're thinking, what's Kwanzaa? I've heard of Kwanzaa. No, voodoo, no, that's from somewhere else. And you're on the wrong track. And the guy who wrote it knows he's done that as well. Now, the rest of the wordplay, let's say mythology comes from Gabon or Senegal, so in effect, this is a bit like an equals sign. This equals everything else here in some way. Now, we'll see in later episodes that the wordplay can act in a lot of quite complicated ways. There's a lot of tricks it plays, there's a lot of things that you need to know that are sort of usual references. This one is a really good example of the general principles because the from here isn't just an equals sign, it's also completely literal. Because the 5 letters in the middle of those 3 words, N-O-R-S-E, Norse, a type of mythology. So that's what you've got. You've got your definition, we're saying a word from mythology that comes from these, and this is one type. You will see this sort of clue a lot, where the answer is embedded in the middle of several words. It's not overly common, but it's always worth checking for because you don't really need to do a great deal of working out to get there. You just have to have a quick look and see if there's any word that stands out from the ends and the joinings of other words. So it's quite a neat one to, it's quite an easy one to check for. So there you go. That is a really simple example of how they break down. We found a definition and we knew that the definition rotated sort of around this word and everything else was wordplay, and it just so happened that that wordplay was implied by the definition and the answer was Norse. Very simple. Now, I'm going to leave a test clue for the next type of clue, which is a little bit trickier, on the website. There's all the usual social media stuff I said as well. You can just keep in touch so you'll know when new episodes comes out. But basically, if you see a cryptic crossword clue in the next few days, remember, if you read the clues, one end or the other will be the definition, the rest of it will tell you how to get that definition. And that's all from episode 1.